good, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm currently 4 days out from my surgery. If you guys don't know, I got Tommy John surgery. What they did was they went into my elbow, took out my UCL, and they ended up going into my knee, and they did a full-on repairment of my UCL, going into my knee and pulling out ligaments from there, and they pulled 3 grafts. So that's why currently right now I look like this. So right now I wanted to talk about pretty much what's gone on the past 4 days, give you guys kind of a recap on what it's like post-surgery, because currently right now I've had the short end of the stick, to say the least, from what I've had to deal with. I also was on a schedule of taking medicine every 4 hours, and I'm not sure, based on the YouTube guidelines, that I'm allowed to say what the medicine was that I was taking, but let's just say it was pain med so that I would not feel the pain I was feeling. So I wake up Sunday, usual, taking all my medicine, and around, I would say, noon, my parents were out grocery shopping, so I took the medicine on my own because it was my 4-hour time limit, and I ended up having an allergic reaction to the medicine, which I will not say, but it's a pain med, and I ended up having heat flashes. I was sweating profusely. I was super itchy, like my entire body from head to toe was itchy, and I was having almost like out-of-body mental experiences to where I just didn't, my head felt really fuzzy. We called the doctor about that, and it turns out that a lot of cases that is what usually happens, but in my case it was a little more than usual. 2 days in, I'm already having issues with my medicine. So what ended up happening was I had to start taking Advil with Tylenol, which actually ended up helping really well with all the side effects that I was already dealing with. And of course, was still going to lead to a little bit of pain, but I was able to push through most of that, and where I'm at today is a lot better than where I was then. So on the entire day for Saturday, I couldn't eat. I was nauseous all day, and I probably got like 2 meals in for the entire day. So the whole day as a whole was pretty much just recovery, sleep, and trying to just get that feeling of just being gross out of my system. Okay, so day after surgery, which was Saturday, I ended up waking up at 6 a.m. because I take medicine every 4 hours, and we ended up being a little behind on my medicine, so I was in probably the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life. My body was aching, my teeth were chattering, I was hurting in my entire leg, my entire arm was hurting, and it was genuinely some of the worst pain I felt in a long time. And at 22 years old, me saying that now, it's, that was some serious stuff to have to deal with. Yeah, that was one of the worst things I had to deal with, and because of the fact that I went under, I get very nauseous when I go under because of the anesthesia. So, two and two together, on top of all the pain I was feeling and the nausea, I ended up getting very sick, and I was vomiting for a good while, and that was pretty bad. I was at like 8 a.m., so from like 6 to 8 a.m., I was in serious pain, throwing up, and having I was all over the place. And for that being my first morning, I was like, wow, this is going to be a long experience to have to deal with. So since the first 2 days were so impactful on this entire journey so far, I wanted to kind of dig in on those. The entire time I'm having to adjust myself with pillows under my leg because of how serious the leg surgery was, and under my arm because of how serious my arm surgery was. So I'm struggling to get out of bed, and it takes me about 5 to 10 minutes to just go to the bathroom because of the fact that I have to remove all the pillows, get out of bed, and it's very hard for me to walk right now because of the fact that the surgery on my leg was 3 different grafts, so of course I'm going to be much more sore from that. And yeah, it was very difficult for me because of the fact that I didn't know that this side of Tommy John surgery was so intense, and the fact that it's very difficult to deal with the pain, especially when you're not on the same meds that you were supposed to be on. So I was having to push through it in a different way. And I had never heard from any previous people that had had Tommy John, and this isn't a knock on them, that the pain is so excruciating. If you are off by 20 minutes on any of your medicine, that is a immediate trigger to, starting to feel gloomy, starting to feel pain, starting to feel just not right anymore. So found that the hard way for the first 2 days. Was sleeping pretty much most of those days, and was waking up, of course, every 4 hours to take medicine. Sometimes at 2 a.m., sometimes at 4 a.m., 6 a.m. So yeah, Saturday and Sunday were very difficult for me. I was lucky enough that on Sunday, during the middle of the day, I was feeling pretty productive and feeling pretty good. What I did was I ended up editing the entire YouTube video of the vlog that I made from the Tommy John surgery day in the life, and got through as much of that as I could, did as much content as I could, and ended up being a very productive day for me when it comes to the social media side of things. But of course, that whole experience ended up making me feel pretty bad later in the day, and I was down for the rest of the night and feeling, my leg was sore, my arm was sore, and my body was just very fatigued from doing that much work after not doing anything in a couple days. Also, Sunday night was my best friend's birthday party, and of course, I'm not going to miss my best friend's birthday. So, after 2 days of surgery, decided to go out just to show up and and make an appearance and maybe go for at least an hour. And the whole time, you know, my leg was killing me. Tried to be as, you know, joyous as I could, but very hard to be happy when you're in so much pain. And I was in a lot of pain during that time because I was just getting off of my previous medication and I was starting some new medication. So I was not in a very good space at that moment, and it just did not feel very good for me. And so when I got home, I definitely paid the price with how my body felt. But can't miss out on moments like that, and I'm glad I went because it's good to show your face at parties like that. So then come into yesterday, which was Monday, and that was the first day that I really was able to put down meals. I ate an entire breakfast, ate an entire lunch, ate an entire dinner, but very limited on how much I ate, which if people know me, which any of you guys that know me personally, I ate a lot. I probably eat like anywhere from 3,500 to 4,000 calories a day. I would say realistically probably 3,000 to 3,500, but I probably had anywhere below 2,000 yesterday, and that felt like a lot of food for me, which was very weird, and I just have had no appetite recently. And so coming into yesterday, it was kind of just my first day that I could really relax. Watched a lot of movies, watched a lot of sports, watched a lot of college baseball going on right now where it's, you know, it's opening weekend, so all the teams are playing and all these YouTube videos are coming out. So that was what I really did to enjoy my time for yesterday. So I usually shower every single day of my life, and I'm very I'm a very religious shower, sometimes twice because I go after the gym. And of course, it's been 3 days since I showered, 4 if you count today. So I woke up this morning at probably around 10 o'clock, and I needed to shower. So my mom went out and helped me out and went and got a thing for my knee to cover my knee up, and we already had a previous one for my arm. So I thought, you know, we're going to be able to get this done in the shower, get this done pretty easily. But no, it was very difficult. The holes on those things are teeny tiny, and I got big calves, and I got big arms, so it took a lot of work. It took my mom and my dad and me to get them all on my arms. I was in pain the entire time. I'm in my underwear, pulled all of my hair off my legs, and it was just a terrible experience as a whole. And so I had to sit down. Sit down on a bench in my own shower. It was the most degrading experience of my life. But yeah, I had to sit down on a bench in my own shower and you shower myself off, and then, you know, I got out of the shower and I felt great, which was awesome. But yeah, I also had a issue with the fact that my wrap on my knee was too tight, and so it was cutting. Yeah, so my wrap on my knee was too tight, so it was cutting off the circulation to my leg. So I was feeling hot flashes in my calf and hot flashes in my quad, which was also causing me to have serious, you know, muscle spasms while I couldn't sleep at all last night. I was up for 4 hours because the pain, I was waiting for my next medication, and so it was very difficult for me to deal with the pain with the fact that my wrap was too tight. So if you guys ever have surgery, make sure your wraps are good, and make sure, you know, all of your body parts aren't turning purple or anything, and you know, you're doing good in the fact that, you know, you're taking care of your circulation. So I made a list of things that are pretty important for you to have when you have Tommy John surgery that I thought would be pretty cool for you guys to hear. So some advice that I would give for you guys is have lots of pillows. I have 2 for my leg, 2 for my arm, and of course a bunch that sit me up in the back, and that is a game changer. I would not be comfortable without that. Second thing I put was tray for eating, because you can't just set your food on top of a pillow because it's gonna flop all over the place. So having a tray, and also being good with using your opposite hand when you eat. So my recommendation, don't have anything that has to do with spoons, because my ability to use a spoon with my right hand is very poor, and I was spilling all over myself. So make sure you have towels to cover your neck in case you spill all over your face. Another thing I would say is lots of food and water. I made that mistake of not having enough food and not having enough water, and that's why I got so sick at that moment, because when you're taking your medicine, you gotta have food and water at the same time for that. Make sure you're in your right headspace at the time. Next, I would say an at-home nurse. I know this is a funny one, but having somebody there that can help you out, because I would not be able to do this on my own. The only time I was on my own was when I had my allergic reaction to the medication I was on, which was very scary because it was a very weird experience for me and I'd never had that. Next thing is animal safety. My animals, for some reason, when they come into my room, love to jump onto my knee, and my knee is the most painful part of my body right now, and they would come into my room and jump straight onto my knee. So make sure your animals stay out of your room if you guys have any animals and you have Tommy John surgery. Next, I would say tank tops plus baggy clothes, because of course you guys can see right now, tank top, little baggy shirt, because we already tried last time to put on a shirt and it does not work because of how big this is. Can't get anything over that. Only thing you can get over that is shower covers. Shower covers are the things that are plastic that squeeze your arm and squeeze your leg so that you don't get any water on your bandages, because I can't do anything for 2 weeks because of the fact that I have stitches and bandages covering them. So for 2 weeks I can't drive, I can't leave the house unless somebody else drives me. So those are very important for that situation, and you can get them at CVS, you get them at any of your local stores. This is the one that I have for my knee. This thing right here took all of the hair off my leg, so be careful about that. You might want to shave before that. And then this one was the one that I had for my arm. So my entire arm was inside of that, and this was up by my shoulder. So those things are the things you can buy so that you make sure you don't have any issues showering. Next thing I would say is ice packs, because I've been having really bad aches in my quad and in my calf because I can't really bend my leg very well, so my muscles are getting really tight. So I would say ice packs on deck is huge. And then the last thing, have other types of pain meds around, like the Advils and the Tylenols and the Benadryls in my case because I was itching, and also have nausea meds because I never expected that. I had the patch by my ear after, if any of you guys have gone under for anesthesia, and the patch just did not do it for me, and I ended up getting sick multiple times because I just did not feel good. So make sure you have nausea meds and pain meds on deck in case anything goes wrong. You do not want to run into that issue where you have pain and you just feel sick. Don't mind that you can see my cat's butt over here, but now it leads into where we're at now. I just set up in our little office space that we have this cool little, almost like a filming studio. So what I want to start doing is anytime there's any cool things that happen, I can start reacting to it and posting it on TikTok or posting it on YouTube. And I thought it would be cool that, you know, when Kevon and I start filming again and I'm still not able to really walk or anything, I can, you know, have him come here and we can film talking videos here. Hey man. Excuse me? Excuse me? Watch out. But yeah, you guys can see some of my high school Picture of the Year awards. You guys can see the Hunter and Kevon merch in the back. And of course I have my computer here in case there's anything I want to look up. So comment down below any ideas you guys have for anything you guys want me to start reacting to. Comment on my TikToks, anything you guys want me to react to. And all in all, just thank you guys for watching these videos and keeping up with this journey. I'm going to be very consistent because I have nothing to do. All I've been doing right now is sitting in bed, so it gives me a lot of free time. So I've been editing, I've been social mediaing it up, trying to find as many things I can do to pass the time. So with all that said and done, make sure you guys like and subscribe, stay along for this journey, and I'm excited to see what the future holds. Deuces.